Today I'm going to bench test a Peachtree Nova300. You see tons of reviews of them on the internet. I've never seen one on the test bench, having any testing done to it. So that's where I'm going today, and I hope you enjoy the video. If you enjoy vintage audio equipment, you've come to the right spot. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell, as well as giving me a big thumbs up if you like this video, and share it with others. Peachtree has rated the Nova300 for 300 watts per channel into 8 ohms and 450 watts into 4 ohms. I do not have any 450 watt 4 ohm load resistors. So that's why we're going with the 300 watt 8 ohm resistors. Also, my piece of test equipment is vintage. The weighing system, the weighing system they used to spec out the Peachtree Nova300 was a weighing factor called AES17. This was not around. I don't know when that was developed, but it wasn't around in the 80s. And what I do have some low-pass filters, A weighing, and also CCIR. Those were two popular. The A weighting was a lot of US, and the CCIR filter was a big one in Europe. But I also have some individual low-pass filters that I can use. So I think I can do okay with it. At least get an idea of how close the unit will meet its specs. So I'm looking forward to this. I never see this online. It just seems like in today's world, you know, they send this new equipment to somebody's apartment and they review it. You know, back in the day, you old guys, you know, remember Stereo Review and the other magazines? They would actually bring them up on a test bench and then test them, you know, for their specifications to see if they meet them. First, we're going to see how well the two channels can track. The Sound Technology 3200A will track both channels. They call them A and B, but our A channel's the left channel and our B channel's the right channel. What I'll do is I'm going to try to show you here. Are you guys familiar with the modern equipment? I've got a remote. And what I'm going to do is change the volume on the Peachtree. Right now I'm running the signal generator at 1000 hertz, volt-and-a-half peak to peak. And that should give me a volt-and-a-half should give me a pretty good range there. I should be able to go through a lot of power ranges at that level. I've got it into the auxiliary input, auxiliary 1 of the Peachtree. So here we go. Hopefully you can see that. I think you can. I'm trying to do two things at once. Hold the camera, and here we go. I'm going to just start stepping up with the remote. First of all, see them changing? You know, I went from 10, I was sitting about 10 watts, and by the way, this is watts per channel, continuous, and 1000 hertz tone. So here I am at just under 20. The left channel is 19.5, the right channel is 19.2. I mean, that's close, right? I mean, would you like them right on top of each other? Sure, but that's only, you know, a couple percent difference, and that's good. And I'm just stepping up through this with the remote as I hit this. And let's see if I can show you the Peachtree real quick. You know how it changes color there on the display, you know, as you're hitting the volume up and down. So now we're running over 43 watts a channel continuous. What I did do too, before I started this testing, I ran the Peachtree at right around 50 watts a channel for 20 minutes before I started any of this. And you know, the top has become somewhat warm. I left the cover on. I didn't take the cover off. I just wanted to see how it would work, you know, inside its case, and it became, I mean, nothing hot, you know, just warm to the touch. So that was good, and I'm going to just keep stepping up through here a little bit. Now we're at 60. All right, better than 60. 70. We'll get it up over 100 here for just a second. So we're 123 and 123 watts continuous to the left channel, and 121 watts with the right. And so that's close, right? I mean, if we were at 100 watts and it was 2 off, we'd say 2%. So what is that? 1.5%? You know, between the left and right channel. So that's very good. The load resistors, certainly warm. You know, that's a lot of juice. If you were doing this with the Peachtree, if you were running 123 watts continuous in any speaker, I don't know what to tell you, because you'd be, you know, you'd probably be in trouble, your speaker would be. So that's very impressive. I'm going to back it down now. That was just showing the tracking of the 2 channels. So now I'm hitting the volume. I'm going back down. I'm just hitting it one at a time instead of, you know, having it all fall back down at once so you can't see it. So I'm just hitting this one at a time, and we'll get back down here somewhere. I don't know. Where are we at now? 19, 17, 15. All right. Let's just get down around 10 somewhere. That's 8. Let's go up 1. See, watch it go up 1. All right. So we're just, you're right, just under 10 watts a channel, and we're just, again, doing 1,000 hertz tone. What we're going to do now is test the distortion. Now, as I said, this particular analyzer, the way, this is the first of all, this is the first Class D amplifier I've ever tested, but, you know, I don't see why you can't test it like a Class A or a Class AB amp, so that's what I'm trying to do. The only difference was I realized, you know, in the manual, you know, they have a specification they use called AES-17. It's a filter that they use, you know, and again, this is, I believe, probably for testing, you know, Class D amplifiers or switching amplifiers. They didn't have those back in the day here, so this analyzer set up for the different weights that they had, the different low pass and high pass filters that were needed for testing back in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. So anyway, what we're going to do here is I'm going to now change over to the change the button here. We're going to measure harmonic distortion. So I'm going to push that, and we're on channel down here in the corner. I don't know if you can see it, but we're on channel A, which is the left channel. And right now, you know, at 10 watts, just under it, 9.86, the distortion is about 0.1, right? So that's very low. I'm using the CCIR weighting because it seemed to me to be closer to the AES-17 curve than the A weighting did. But I'm gonna turn it over here to, we don't have an external, so there it is, totally off. All right, there's absolutely no weighting whatsoever. And then we'll turn on the A weighting, and it's like around 0.3, right? A little bit higher. But a lot of this, you know, a lot of this is probably because this is not how the amplifier was spec'd out. Wasn't, you know, with A weighting, it was with this AES-17 weighting. So, but still, even with that, it's not terrible, right? I mean, it's 0.3, so that's not bad. And we'll go back to CCIR weighting. And you can see it drops, you know, just barely there, dropped under 0.1. But so I think that's very good. So let me try to hold this guy, and I'm going to do the Peachtree again. Remember, this is the left channel only now. We're just looking at one channel. And I'm going to try to hold the camera steady here as I can. And I'm going to use the remote again on the Peachtree. So we're going to start stepping up in the output. There's 12, And look, it went just under now. Now it's 0.09. I'm just going to step up through here. And we're 0.08. Distortion's actually going down a little bit. But we're under 1/10 of 1%. Right? I mean, that's good. Yeah. I'm stepping it up here. We're about at 50 watts, 68, 76, just under 100. Let's pop it over 100 for a second. 108 watts continuous in the left channel, right? And we're 0.07. So let's go ahead. I can switch this on the fly. We're going to go over to the right channel real quick and look at the distortion. So here we go. Going to push a button down here. Take her a second to kind of reset, and here we are. We're at 107 on that channel, on the right channel, and 0.05. But let's feel the amp here, see how she feels. Not bad at all. I mean, I certainly felt a lot hotter ones, and she's running 107 watts continuous. The load resistors, they're cooking. Yow! So those are hot. So we'll go ahead, and I'm going to use the remote again and just back this down some. All right, now we're going to do some sweeps. You can probably, that's the frequency. Maybe you can hear it if I turn it up. Not a great fan, but I mean fan. That's what it sounds like, right? Not a great speaker. But we started down at 20 hertz, and you can kind of see we've got about the same. Now I'll turn it down because I can actually hear it. You know, 0.2, 0.1, 0.2, 0.1. You know, as we go up through the frequencies. Here I've just got the signal generator in the sweep mode, and you can set up whatever frequencies you want to go through. And I think you can see it kind of as it goes up through there, 318, 326, and we're like at 0.14, 0.12, 0.14, right? So, you know, you can kind of set that up however you want, just to see different frequencies. Before we were just sitting on 1,000 hertz, but you know, go through here and test it. Pretty much got the same kind of distortion results, right? I mean, we're like at 0.1 or so, 0.1, not up above 0.2, so that's pretty good. And now at 500 hertz, as I said, you can set the signal generator however you'd like to do it. So anyway, I'd like to show that we did a few other frequencies besides 1,000 hertz. So again, the Nova 300 was impressive. I mean, anywhere you want to, anywhere in the spectrum from 20 to 20 that you want to look, it's got you know, really great distortion numbers. So thanks for tuning in, and y'all have a good day.